Welcome in to the Al Smith Alfa Insurance High School Football Scoreboard Show. Get ready for all the scores and recaps from tonight's games. Let's throw it over to the boys from Northwest Georgia football, Lawrence Morgan and Benton Burge.
All right, welcome in to the Week 6 version of the Al Smith Alfa Insurance High School Football Scoreboard. Joined tonight by my law.
I know it's been a minute.
It has been a minute, Chris. Please, everybody, welcome Chris Napier back to the show. Glad to have him on. He watched not one but two football games tonight, so he'll have some things to talk about there. And
absolutely,
I think we got all the scores, some upsets, some not upsets, according to Chris. I think we talked about before we got on here.
Yep. And there's a lot of it in that one we're going to talk about. Everybody's going to say this is an upset, but I don't think so.
Yeah, so I'll tell you what, we're going to go ahead and just jump on in, and then we'll talk about the games we're at here in a bit. And I know we're on probably 8 or 10 minutes late, but I just got back from Chattooga and Armurchie, which was, I was dead wrong about that. I talked about it being maybe a 13-10, 14-13, and it was, plenty of scoring. So we'll talk about that later. But all right, Week 6 games. North Cobb won at North Paulding 24-17. Carrollton dominated the number 6 ranked team in all classifications in the state of Alabama, Parker, Alabama, 43-7 at Carrollton. McEachern blanks Paulding County 60-0. South Paulding gets a 24-15 win over Villarica. Actually, I do see one that I do not have a score for. I'll look it up, or y'all can let me know in the comments. Looking for East Paulding at New Manchester. Hadn't seen that one yet. Rome. It looks like Rome played a complete game. Lawrence has talked about they've played a couple halves. They've won a good many games already, but they haven't really put that complete game together. Well, they were up big at halftime, and they rolled to a 59-7 win over Alexander. Mount Zion of Jonesboro gets a 55-10 win over Southeast Whitfield. The Central Lions continue rolling undefeated, 56-0 over Monday's Mill. Adult with a 44-35 win over Altoona. Speaking of 44, Cartersville with a 44-7 win over Woodland. Cass puts it on Cedartown, 44-17. We got a comment here. It goes right along with what we had. Pickens, 34-23 over Dawson County. Heritage, Lumpkin gets the win, 47-9 over Chesapeake. Sticking in that region, a little bonus score. GAC beats Johnson of Gainesville 63-7. Northwest Whitfield and Gilmer playing tomorrow night at Gilmer at 6:30. Not real sure why, but that's what we've been told. Adairsville holds on and defeats Lafayette at Lafayette 27-10. That's a big win for the Tigers there. Speaking of Tigers, the Ringo Tigers go to LFO, and Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe gets a 35-17 win. And this is one of the games that Chris was able to see some of. We'll talk about more here in a second. If you went out to a game, hit us up in the comments. We'll get you on here. Let you talk about the game you're at. Sonoraville at Murray County tonight defeats Murray 69-20. North Murray beats Union County 46-24. Pike County beats Mount Zion, gives Mount Zion their first loss 28-7. Rockmart over Cahola Creek 41-0. Gordon Lee 49-21 over Christian Heritage. That's a big regional win, and Gordon Lee putting their best foot forward toward maybe being region champs. Harrelson County with a 47-0 win over Darlington. that might be the most shocking one I've seen yet. Last night, Bremen was at Model, and they defeated Model 42-7. A lot of games here. Pepperell, slight upset here, I think, defeats Temple at Temple 41-14. Fannin County holds on to beat Dade 21-14. I watched the last bit of that game. We'll talk about it here in a minute. Gordon Central defeats Coosa at Coosa 25-13. That makes Gordon Central 2-0 in the region. And I'm not mistaken, either 4 and 5-0 overall. Raven County beats Banks County 35-0. Chattanooga holds on against Armurchie 45-27. North Hall defeats White 56-14. And so the scores are in. Another bonus score. Unity Christian 16-0 over Horizon Christian Academy. Remains undefeated 5-0, only giving up 10 points all season. Unity Christian. This seems like every year after they're relatively new, within the last 10 years or so playing football, and it seems like every year now they're competing for that championship in that league. Dick Keller says Carrollton and Parker was close for a while. Parker had about 7 or 8 personal fouls on the sports penalty and it got out of hand. Very interesting.
Yeah, I don't think your mic's working too good, Benton. I don't think it might be my headphones here, but it sounds like your mic's kind of breaking up on you.
All right. Let's give it a little check. The only way I know how to check this is to pull it up and listen to it. I actually hear it pretty good on mine.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
It might be my headphones.
All right, here's another comment coming in. Altoona come back from a 21-0 deficit, but couldn't complete the comeback. Looks like Chris sitting in the house from Southern Living catalog. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Moving up in the world, boys. I wish this background was real.
Hey, in about 2 more months, you have a fire going in that fireplace.
Yeah. Then I'll take the background off.
You ask and you shall receive. Joey Burton says, New Manchester 23, East Paulding 22.
Ouch.
Wow. Close one there.
Yep.
I'm going to jot that down.
So I think we were talking before we come on.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I said, if you're looking for drama, you tuned into the right place, because let's talk about 7AA. What we got is plenty of playoff teams. What we don't have is plenty of playoff spots. I'm telling you, if there was any question if Sonoraville was a playoff team, they answered that question tonight. They played a complete game. It was complete domination over Murray County. And this is a much improved Murray County team. But I'm telling you, Chaz Pate, Jaden Cruz, they put on a show tonight, and it was a pleasure to watch. I like the way Chaz Pate throws football. He throws a pretty ball. They were dominant in offense. They controlled every facet of that game. They won on every facet, like I said. Then I went over and I watched the second half of North Murray, and let me say, congratulations, Preston Pogue. Coach Pogue up there at North Murray. This is win 100 tonight as the head coach of North Murray, which is fantastic. I mean, 100 wins, and that's a big accomplishment. Not everybody can get there, and he got there tonight. North Murray beats Union County 46-24 tonight. And, North Murray's a solid team. Everybody looks at the numbers that Hewitt's putting up. Hudson Hewitt is, without a doubt, a guy you got to talk about if you're talking about Player of the Year candidates. But there's a strong supporting cast there at North Murray. You got Leighton Myers. You got Anthony Skojak, Jacob Daly. I mean, it's just a complete team, and these guys play together. They're great. They're fun to watch. They can light up the scoreboard. So that was a big win for them. 100 wins for Coach Pogue, and move to 5-0 for the first time ever as North Murray. But let's talk about Ringgold in LFO. I want to talk about LFO. This is a team I got to watch just last week. And, everybody's going to say, look at that LFO Ringgold game. Say, man, that was an upset. I don't think so. I think LFO is a dominant team. I told you at the end of last year, these guys are a powerhouse. Look at some of those dudes on that team. Jared Mitchell, Malachi Brown, and Bryson Donald, 5 touchdowns tonight. What a dominant performance he put on. I think LFO is a solid team. I think they're a team to reckon with, and I don't think that's an upset. I think they're that good. I got to see them play last weekend, and those 3 guys I just mentioned for LFO, all region dudes right there, all of them solid players. Ringgold, I think they're a playoff team. Snorville, they're a playoff team. North Murray's a playoff team. Rockmart's a playoff team. Everybody's a playoff team, but there's some people that's not going to get a chance to go because there's only limited spots. But I'm telling you, there's some solid football being played in 7AA this season, and it is impressive to watch.
I don't really know how limited the spots will be because I don't know how many quote unquote at-large teams will make it over the regular 4. But there's the ability to have teams in there. Like I remember last year, one of the 1A regions had 7 of their 8 teams in the playoffs. So never know. You could see them sneak in there, and as long as they're up there in the ratings, and they don't get pushed out by anybody, I think they'll be right there.
I think I could see 5 teams easy. I can name 5 teams right now, possibly 6. That Union County team, that's a good team. They're a solid football team, so they could be there.
Speaking of that Union County team, that's who LFO, the before-mentioned team, will play next week at Union. I think that's going to be an interesting game. LFO got the close loss to North Murray on their record. The 1-score loss to Heritage, which is a good team. Another one of those teams that could be a playoff team. And then a 40-0 win over Ridgeland, which, they've scored some points here lately and been really good. I think they got a win over Darlington a couple weeks ago. Good teams there.
It's going to be interesting to watch this come down the wire to see who's in, who's out. I don't think everybody's going to get a chance to go.
Yeah, going back to the comments here, Blaine Woody says Pepper blowing out Temple at Temple is the biggest shock of him for him.
I'll agree with him there.
Yep, 41-14 over Temple on the road. Temple's homecoming. Dragons look like a different team, they said. Also, give a shout out to the Daresville Tigers. They were able to go up to Lafayette and get a big win over a Lafayette team that's been on the upswing. Getting a win earlier in the year over Chattooga and another couple wins and going to Trine and getting a win last week. And Daresville was able to pull it out this week. Another one here, Coach Parsons at Rockmart won his 100th game tonight as well. So that's interesting that we got 2 coaches in the same area.
Same region, same night, 100 win coaches. That's impressive.
Yeah. And I tend to agree with Jake here. Pepperell may have been more battle tested, played better teams to get up for this game like this. Big time. Next week, Joey Burton says next week's game of the week will be North Hall 5-0 at Pickens 5-0. I've been picking Pickens in every game this year, so I'll have to take a good look at that game. I'm sure it'll be on the pick 'em, so we'll talk about that.
North Hall is a program we don't cover a whole lot of, but they're always solid. I mean, that's a solid team right there.
Jake says Haralson County host Hurd next week. That region with Pepperell, Haralson, Hurd, Bremen, Temple, all in the same region. Woof! It's like Murderer's Row right there in that particular division. And Darlington can get you too, so you got to watch out for Darlington. But big time wins uh, from some programs this week. Like I said, Rome with a big win, 59-7 over Alexander, opening up region play. Other things that kind of jump out at me, I expected Cass to beat Cedartown, but 44-17 is a little more than what I was thinking. Dalton with the big win. Dalton's been putting up points and yards and bunches, just getting better every game. Dalton could be one of those teams right there you don't want to see. You're going to have to outscore Dalton.
Yeah, and they're still a little young. I think Dalton's a team you don't want to see next year.
I think Dalton gets that defense, a little bit better, 10 points a game better. They're going to be tough because they can put the points on the board.
Yeah, they've got the dudes.
Gordon Lee also. Gordon Lee with a big win, 49-21 over Christian Heritage.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of puts them in the driver's seat. There's a couple other teams out there that are going to have their say. But, just looking at that region itself, it looks like Gordon Lee with this big win tonight is going to be it's going to be up to them to lose the region, in my opinion. Now, there's other people like Fannin and Coosa and all those teams that Gordon Central that's doing that will have their say. They'll have their chance. But right now, Gordon Lee looking pretty good.
Yeah, they're going to have to play a mistake-free game against Gordon Lee to beat him. I think Gordon Lee's pretty good. I seen him play in the preseason. I really like that team. Solid football team.
And I really think that they've made strides since then. And they brought back a good bit skill, and it's shining. The offensive defensive lines have been better than what we expected, which is good, obviously, for Gordon Lee. So, if I'm not mistaken, I think Gordon Lee goes to Somerville next week. So I'll see Gordon Lee firsthand, and it's going to be interesting, that's for sure. The next game that I'm looking down this list here, Haralson County with a 47-0 win over Darlington. I don't know exactly what went down in that game, but I mean that's a pretty dominant win right there from a Haralson team that I picked to win last week. I think they played Pike County and they ended up with a close loss. Was kind of a little bit shocked by that, and then they shocked me on the other side, putting up 47 and holding Darlington to nothing. So that's a huge win.
The loss to Pike was a wake-up call.
I agree. I think it lit a little fire, and I think it was a big one for them. Gordon Central, like I mentioned earlier, either 4-0 or 5-0, undefeated in the region, undefeated overall right now. Looking pretty good. I'm not sure who they match up with next week. We'll look at it here in a second, but Gordon Central looking like one of those playoff teams coming out of this region. Chattooga getting their first win. So Chattooga and Armurchie both have one win. Chattooga 1-1 in the region. I believe Armurchie has only played. That was their third game of the year. They had a postponement. Man, hats off to Armurchie for fighting. Man, they got down, and that was the game that I was at. They got down. They had a couple one-play drives. Man, they hit a 39-yard run for a touchdown after a pretty good return, and then they had a couple pass plays for touchdowns on one-play drives. It's like Chattooga would go down and score. They were hitting them in the mouth, go down and score, and then Armurchie would find a way to come back. Just couldn't slow the Chattooga running game. Tonight they got going pretty good. And they also had a passing touchdown, which is what Chattooga's going to have to do because everybody's just going to load the box against them. It seems like we say that every year. But that is
historically runs the ball really well, and that's they start passing the ball. There's no telling where they'll end up. I mean, you're talking about deep playoff runs,
Yeah, they have an experienced line of scrimmage, extremely inexperienced in the other positions, but they're 5 games in. They look a lot better. Region play is where it counts, so they got to win. So moving forward, we'll see how they do. Got got to shore up the defense a little bit. Can't give up those big plays and win ball games against teams like Gordon Lee and Christian Heritage, Fannin, those teams that are coming up. All righty. Let's see if we got any more comments. Oh, we do. Rockmart and Orville next week. That could be a score fest. Both of those teams capable of putting a lot of points up.
Whoever brings their defense wins that game. Because I'm going to tell you, like I said tonight, Snorville was scoring on huge chunks. I mean, they would 30 and 40-yard plays. So it was quick scoring. I mean, 2 and 3 play drives that led to scoring. Chaz Pate, he just he picked them apart. So.
Jay Keller says Temple at Bremen next week. You could literally ride a bike to that game if you're a Temple fan, or even walk.
Yeah.
Joey Burton says Darlington did have about 6 starters out a couple weeks ago. They might be still going through the bug. Yeah, the injury bug is tough, especially in small schools where you don't have those backups that are quality. I mean, you're bringing pretty much in a small school setting, 3A or less, you're bringing your JV guy in. I mean, really, let's be honest. Your backup guy is playing JV. So, but at least he's getting reps somewhere, and he should by now, after a year gone, which is crazy, but by now he should have enough reps to jump in there and be serviceable for sure.
Yep. Got to play smart. You don't have that. You don't have that depth. You don't have that. You're not no 6A school. So.
Yeah. You gotta substitute as frequently as you can without giving up a lot of points. Because I mean, you know yourself, a lot of those kids are playing both ways in the small schools.
Yep.
I tell you what, it's been a few minutes since we popped through the scores. I'll try to pop through them a little quicker than I did last time. I'll go back through. North Cobb defeats North Paulding 24-17. Carrollton 43-7 over Parker, Alabama. McEachern 60-0 over Paulding County. South Paulding defeats Villarica 24-15. New Manchester holds on and beats East Paulding 23-22. Rome defeats Alexander 59-7. Mount Zion of Jonesboro beats Southeast Whitfield 55-10. Central defeats Money's Mill 56-0. Dalton holds on to beat Altoona 44-35. Cartersville over Woodland 44-7. Cass over Cedartown 44-17. Pickens over Dawson County 34-23. Heritage defeats Ringgold Ridgeland. Heritage defeats Ridgeland 30-7. Lumpkin County over Chestatee 47-9. Gilmer and Northwest is at Gilmer. On here it shows Gilmer as a 10-point favorite, and they're going to play tomorrow, Saturday night at 6:30. Adairsville goes to Lafayette and wins 27-10. LFO defeats Ringgold. I said it correct this time. 35-17. Sonoraville over Murray County 69-20. North Murray over Union County 46-24. Pike County defeats Mount Zion 28-7. Rockmart over Cahulla Creek 41-0. Gordon Lee over Christian Heritage 41-21. Haralson County over Darlington 47-0. Bremen, which was last night, Bremen 42-7 over Model. Pepperell defeats Temple 41-14. Fannin holds on to beat Dade 21-14. Gordon Central beats Coosa 25-13. Rayburn County beats Banks County 35-0. Chattooga 45-27 over Armurchie. And North Hall defeats White County 56-14. One of these games here that I said I was going to talk about for a second, I watched the last drive. Dade was driving with a few minutes left in the game, down 21-14. Dade gets down inside of Fannin's 10-yard line, throws a pass over in the flats. Fannin tackles them inbounds, and the clock runs out as they didn't have any more timeouts. So Fannin holds on 21-14.
Exciting way to end it.
Jake Keller's he says, ain't nobody touching Central in their region. It's down from last year, and they'll be 10-0 and the number 1 seed. Brown, the head coach there, completely turned that program around, and I totally agree that.
I'll agree to that.
I don't remember when we first got here. We were talking about that team as maybe an upcoming team or a team that was a couple years away, and now, man, they're the juggernaut. I think they're going to make a huge run in the playoffs with the skill they got. It's going to be fun to see.
And I think Coach Brown, he come around 2022, right? Correct? I think I met him down at Graddick Sports Day, and I had did picks for 7-4A, and I picked Central as my 5th seed to miss the playoffs. And he looked at me, and he says, "We're going to prove you wrong." And
hey, I like it. That's what you want.
And look at them now. I mean, you're probably correct on that being a 10-0 team, region champ, number 1 seed. So that's a great program. He has done fantastic things down there at Central.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, since he's been there, I'm interested to see what their record is, because I'm telling you, it's been pretty good.
Yeah. And I'm wanting to say that was like 2021, 2022 season. He started at Central, if I'm not mistaken. But that's a heck of a football coach right there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking it up right now, actually, as we speak. Central Carrollton. Actually, he started in 23 was his first year.
Okay, that's when I met him down there at the Graddick Sports Day. I was doing interviews, and I saw Central down there, and Coach Brown gave me that look. He said, "We're going to prove you wrong," because we had just did the podcast for the 7-4A preview.
Let's say this: three years at Central. This is the 3rd year. He's 4 games into the 3rd year, and he is 25-4 with a trip to the quarterfinals, a trip to the 2nd round, and I don't even want to try to say what he's going to do this year because I think it's going to be big.
Yeah, it's going to be big. So I don't want to jinx nothing. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm just going to say they're really good.
Yeah, and he's a fairly young guy. He's only been coaching. This will be his 4th year coaching. He spent 1 year at Paulding County, and when they were in 6A, he went 6-5, and he was in the playoff that year. He's never not been in the playoffs. So good coach that. Dwayne Sarrett here says Pickens has a real deal QB. He's super talented, very smart. Be hard for anyone to beat Pickens. Hey, that sounds good to me because I done told Lawrence I'm probably picking Pickens from here on out until at least they get in the playoffs. I have to figure out what they're going to do.
Pickens 5-0 now, right?
5-0. But I do go back and take a look at some of the scores that we talked about. One of our bonus scores. This team right here, this GAC team scored 63. Now, I get it. I get the competition in this game, but GAC could be one to watch. I'm not sure where Pickens plays them at, but could be an interesting game there. But all kinds of
they've been up and down, recently the past few years, but that's always been historically a solid program.
I remember when I went there, it was I didn't go there. I played there 1 year. I think we got beat 35-0. I think it was. Might have been my junior year of high school. They had some pretty darn good players there. I remember a guy. I don't know if it was the year we played, maybe the year before, by the name of Caleb. No, maybe he was in Parkview. Anyway, they were loaded, and we didn't. We didn't. We went there with high hopes, but we come back with a 35-0 loss. It seemed like we always played the juggernaut teams. My freshman year, I remember going to Buford, and that was rough. First jumbotron a lot of our kids had ever seen back in the day. One of the first jumbotrons, in high school. Now they've got like a, Mercedes Benz over in Buford somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, all right, man. Well, we can look toward. I can look at next week's schedule. We can see. We've talked about a few already. That's playing next week. You know right off the top of your head any of the games out of that region that would be big for next week? That region, 2A.
Well, I know, there's several bye weeks happening next week.
I got you.
North Murray's on a bye. I don't know who else is on a bye. So I will be freed up to go watch something else. And I've got my obligations. I write, stories for the Chatsworth Times. So both North Murray and Murray County have bye weeks. So I'm going to be freed up, and I think I might find my way to watch Ringgold or maybe go watch LFO again. I'm telling you, I really like that LFO team. Solid football team. So just keep an eye on those guys. I know a lot of people are looking at that score and thinking, whoa, that was an upset. I don't think it was an upset. Look at that LFO team. That team is loaded with talent. And there's a lot of dudes I mentioned earlier, all region type dudes. And I think they can go far. So watch out for them.
Yeah, just starting at the lower classifications here, I see in our area here, Darlington will be headed to Pepperell. That'll be an interesting matchup, especially after what Pepperell and Darlington did this week. Hurd is on the road at Haralson County. We talked about that a little bit earlier. Temple is on the road at Bremen. Bremen put up a 42-7 over Model this week, and Temple, the experts say got upset this week by Pepperell, so we'll see how that goes. Gordon Lee will be at Chattooga. Coosa at Christian Heritage. That's a big game for both schools if they want to try to keep pace and try to stay in the playoff hunt there. Armurchie is at Dade. Both of those teams, looking for wins there. Fannin will go to Gordon Central. The undefeated Warriors of Gordon Central. Gordon Central got their chance. They're going to have their chance to stake claim at, maybe even a region title. I mean, it's all in front of them. Most everybody still has everything in front of them, even after 2 weeks of region play. There. Let me drop down to D2. What was you saying?
No, I was just saying it's nice to see Gordon Central in that talk about, hey, you got a shot at this region title. There for the longest time. Gordon Central was a program that was down, and see them where they are now is fantastic.
Yeah. Greenville is going to Mount Zion next week. I think this is region games. Yeah, Manchester will be at Trine. Trine was off this week, so they'll be hosting Manchester team that is always very athletic. So I'm sure Trine's already been looking at that Manchester team. Bowden will host Booker T. Washington next week. That should be interesting. Let's see. Anything else that I see?
I'm interested to see how Temple rebounds next week.
I agree with you.
Because, it's kind of unexpected. People just don't expect that score that we saw tonight. So I want to see what they do next week. You'll see the character of that team and how they come out next week. Every once in a while you get hit in the mouth. It's how you respond to it. And I just want to see it.
Yeah. I mean, most people at one point or another are going to get knocked down. You got to see who gets up and who don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That LFO team you were talking about, they'll be on the road at Union, which is scored a good many points against North Murray tonight, and formidable opponent. That'll be an interesting game.
And the thing most people got to look at Union's solid football team. They're more solid considering the drive LFO has to make. That's a long travel for them to get over to Union County. So that puts them at a disadvantage in that game. So anything's possible. You could Union and LFO, that could be two playoff teams right there battling next week.
One that we've already sort of mentioned, or maybe one of our viewers have mentioned, Rockmart will be at Sonoraville next week.
Mm-hmm.
That should be a high-flying, high-scoring game.
They better have more light bulbs. For the scoreboard, you're going to blow some because I think there's going to be a lot of offense in that game. I know they're pretty solid defense, but that's a lot of talented playmakers on the field on both sides of the ball that I think you're going to see a lot of points scored.
Got a little bit of a border war here. Lafayette will be on the road at Ridgeland. I know that's two very close opponents. So we talked about that North Hall squad at Pickens. That should be a well of a game. Adairsville, the big win this week over Lafayette. Calhoun comes calling next week. So Calhoun at Adairsville. White County will visit Lumpkin. Heritage goes to Northwest Whitfield. Northwest is playing tomorrow night. We'll see how that game goes. That GAC team that we talked about will be at Dawson County. That should be an interesting game. Dropping down to 4A, or going up to 4A, excuse me. It looks like Central will be at Jonesboro on a Thursday night. Currently scheduled for a Thursday night game, September 25th. So Central will be an early game this week.
They might as well put that on NFL Network.
I know. We'll have to find somewhere to watch that game for sure. I'll have to have the NFL Network game or the NFL game or whatever college game's on.
We'll just call the NFL up and say, trust me, the Central Lions are that good. Just put them on there.
Yeah. We'll say, hey, NFL, you only got one game tonight. Let's put them on NFL, the second channel on the NFL, NFL Network 2.
Yes.
Towers will be at Southeast Whitfield. Dalton will be at Hiram. That should be very interesting. Let's see here. Cass will be at Woodland. Going on down the list. That's all I see from this area. Moving on up to 5A. We don't have quite as many teams in 5A, but we still have teams that we cover. Villa Rica will be at home against Lithia Springs. That will probably be a winnable game for Villa Rica, I would say. One of Lawrence's, Lawrence calls them my South Georgia team, Thomas County Central, still undefeated, will host Lee County next week. So if you're in South Georgia, that will be the place to be. That'll be a heck of a game there. Man, what talent over the last couple of years at both of those schools is still there. It ain't gone. I guess Rome must be on bye next week, because I don't see anything.
Yeah, there's quite a few teams with a bye week, and it's a good time to have it. I mean, because like you were talking earlier about that injury bug, there's some lingering injuries. I mean, you hit this point in the season that you've got some guys that got some nagging injuries. It's great to have that bye week right here because you can load up for that second half of the season.
Yeah, for sure. 6A, I don't see anybody from this area on the schedule for next week. So, see if we got anything else on the. Yeah, Dwayne Serrett says, I believe this is the most talented team Sonoraville's had in a long time. Good QB, great running back, great wide receivers. Jaden Cruz, in my opinion, the best all-purpose back in Northwest Georgia. Quick, smooth vision, can cut, accelerate. I've seen him a couple times, and Cruz is a good player. He can get around the end quick.
Made some tremendous plays tonight, and he had multiple plays where it's either he's running the ball or he's catching a short screen pass from Pate there, and he just will eat up huge chunks of yards, 30, 40 yards. So he moved that offense right down the field several times. So big shout out to Jaden Cruz.
Yes, sir. Hey, I appreciate you coming on with me, Chris, man. It's been a pleasure. Hopefully you can come back. And we normally do the Pick'em show on Tuesdays or Wednesdays or Thursdays, whenever we're available.
Yeah. I haven't been on a Pick'em show in a while.
I know. I mean, we got a lot of games to pick. So, there's times where me and Lawrence only pick one upset special. Sometimes we got 2 or 3, and I think we actually hit 3 or 4 in a row. But we didn't. I didn't hit mine this week. So
because you didn't pick LFO Warriors. If you would pick the LFO Warriors, I'm telling you, I would have picked them. Because
they were favored by I think Ringo was favored by 13, and I'm pretty sure that we both said that it would be either at or below that. That it would be a close game because of the skill there. They've got it going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Al Smith and Alfa Insurance. He's been with us for multiple years now. He's our sole sponsor. He's been great for us. Call Al for all your insurance needs, 706-529-6786.
Yeah.
Also, something I'm not sure if you're aware of, on NorthwestGeorgiaFootball.com, you can go to our apparel section, and we have hats, shirts, T-shirts. We know it's going to be getting cold. We have jackets, hoodies, car stickers, coffee mugs. 100% of the proceeds will be going back into this program and to the kids. And we're also looking to ramp up our Northwest Georgia Player of the Year trophy. So we're going to have a trophy that will be a lot bigger, a lot nicer. There'll be 2 of them. One will go to the school to put in the trophy case with the kid's name on it. The other will go to the kid's place to carry it wherever he wants to take it after the fact. So we think that will be really good going forward. So,
and I'll be joining more and all. Work is slowing down. I had a whole bunch going on. About finished with some of the school. I know I'm almost 50 years old, but I'm going back to finish an MBA. So I've been busy on that the past year, and I'm almost done. So all that'll be ending, but I'm going to cover some more football, and I might jump on a Pick'em show. And
sweet. I'll make sure that as soon as I find out. Normally on every other week we do it on a Wednesday night at like 7 or 8.
Okay.
So I'll let you know as soon as we know, and we'll get you on.
Yep.
I think we've had a couple more comments.
Yeah. I haven't had a chance lately. I know me, you, and Lawrence have been at this for, I think, since 2016.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. I mean, it's been almost 10 years of Northwest Georgia football, and it's a great program for the area.
Lawrence says the Villa Rica won 31-17. So have we been falsely reporting? What do I have? Okay. I'm going to rescind what I've been saying because I've been calling out South Paulding 24-15 over Villa Rica. Lawrence says the Villa Rica won 31-17. So my sources were bad, and that's a good one. Good catch there, Lawrence. I'll make sure I change it before I post it on the post-game show.
I'm excited for next week. I'm gonna venture out and I'm gonna find a good game to watch. The schools I usually cover on a bye week, I'm gonna go find a good game to watch on Friday night.
Oh yeah, there'll be plenty. I'm sure you'll.
Is Ringgold at home next Friday?
Let's see here. Ringgold. Let me go back to my list here that I got. Did we talk about Ringgold playing?
I don't think.
I don't remember that I ever said Ringgold. That's why
they may be on a bye week.
They may be. I think there's a good many because I do recall a few that we did not talk about.
I think they are on a bye week. I was going to say I'll go over there and watch them play somebody, and they've got a great concession stand out over there at Ringgold.
They are on a bye week. Their next game is at Union County, so they'll be off next week. All righty. Well, I appreciate you joining, and thanks for all the comments and all the views on the show. We'll be back next week, week 7 coming up. Can't believe it.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks, guys. Until next time.
All right. See you guys.
We here at Northwest Georgia Football would like to thank you for watching. Please join us again soon.